Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. In today's video we are going to go through this stack of 1970s Canadian pennies. Now I do live in the United States, but I live about 2 hours away from Canada, so these pennies do come up every once in a while while coin roll hunting, so I probably see these a lot more frequently than some of the other people do. We'll also look through 3 examples of lucky Loonie $1 coins. So this one's from 2006, 2010, and 2008. So those lucky Loonie coins come out every 2 years. So I've got the 06, 08, and 2010 versions. Now let's go through these 1970s Canadian pennies. As we go through this, I will read you the mintages for the different years that we look at. So all of them come from the same mint, unlike United States where we have 3 different mint marks, the Denver, Philly, and San Francisco. The Canadian mint all come out with the same lack of mint mark on them. So first we have 1970, and I'll get a better focus as we go. It seems like it's a little bit hard to start with, but in 1970 there were 344 million of these produced. So we'll go through the different 1970s right here. Now we'll get into the metal content as well once we make over the first metal transition period. So 1970, another 1970 right here, and now we are on to 1971. And I'll get a little bit better of a focus. So 1971, the mintages actually dip a little to 298,228,936. And interestingly, in the 1970s series, 1971, this one right here, will have the lowest mintage out of all of the 1970s pennies. In fact, it's almost half of the mintage, almost a third of some of the mintage in the years later in the 1970s. So 298 million of these were made in 1971. And now we're on to 1972. 1972, 451,304,000 of these ones were produced in the year 1972. And we'll take a pause right here on to 1973. 457 million of these were produced, so pretty consistent between 1972 and 1973. We're at 457 million. We're about to make a jump when we transition to 1974. So 1974, this one right here looks like it's in great shape. There are 692 million of them that were made in 1974. However, that's not the highest year. So we jumped up from 457 to 692 million in the year 1974. And then that was quick. So we just had one from 1974. Then down to 1975, the mintages drop a little to 642 million. We've got a couple 1975s and on to 76, back up to 701 million. And this next change is actually the most interesting one, I think. So we go from 701 million in 1976 down to 453 million in the year 1977. So interestingly, the United States was going through a corn shortage in the United States produced a lot of coins in 1976 for their bicentennial anniversary, so I'm wondering if Canada kind of upped their mintage because the United States was doing it as well in 1976. But then 1977, they retracted it a bit to only 453 million. Now we're on several 1977s right here. On to 1978. Back up, the highest year in the entire 1970 series is going to be this year right here. Any guesses on how many millions of these were made in the year 1978? Well, if you guess 911,170,647, you are exactly correct. 1978, the highest mintage year in the entire 1970s series. So as you can imagine, we've got several 1978s. Now on to last year of 1979, we drop a little bit to 753,942,953. So these are the final 1979s. Here's my entire stack that we just went through right here. All of these nice Canadian 1970s pennies. So to recap, as far as which ones are going to be most valuable, the rarest ones, although they're still in the hundreds of million, are the 1971, in which there are 298 million. The most common will be 1978, in which there are 911 million. Now, there was a change in the metal content Let me just pull one of those up between 1977 and 1978. So we've got the 77 on the right, the 78 on the left. So in 1977, the metal content of the coins was 98% copper, 0.5% tin, and 1.5% zinc. That changed in 1978 to be 98% copper, which is consistent with the previous year. However, the tin and the zinc compositions changed. So 1978 featured 1.75% tin and 0.25% zinc. So we got more tin in the 1978 penny and less zinc. So a little bit more tin in this one and less zinc, more tin in this one and less zinc, more zinc in this one and less tin. But it's very hard to see that change. They are still mostly copper. The metal content will be worth about 2 cents just because these are 98% copper coins and the face value on them is only 1 cent. So keep that in mind. All right, now let's look at these three Canadian $1 coins. These are known as the Lucky Loonie coins. They come out once every Olympics. However, this past Winter Olympics in 2018, we didn't get one of them, so that was kind of a disappointment. Maybe they have finished their series. Let's start with this one right here. It's a 2006. The reverse design features a loon settling on water with the Olympic logo below, a good luck charm of the Canadian athletes competing at the 2006 Winter Olympics. It's surrounded with the inscription Canada and the face value. There are 10,495,000 of these that were produced. For yours to really be worth money, you'll need it to be in the extra fine, almost uncirculated or uncirculated condition. And now on to the 2018 coin, which is this one right here. This one features a little bit different. We see a loon in water. It's surrounded with the Olympic logo and the face value and the date as well. So pretty consistent, but the loon's making a little bit of a different movement. There are 11 million of these that were made. And now on to the final one. We don't see a loon on this one right here. We see the logo of the Vancouver Winter Olympic Games, which is the Anushik. I'm not sure I'm probably not pronouncing that properly, but Anushik, which is the logo of the Vancouver Winter Olympics. There are 10 million of these produced. So 10 million 2010, 11 million 2008, and then 10,495,000 in 2006. All right, everyone, that's all the info that I've got for you in this video. So let's quickly recap what we talked about. We talked about these three Lucky Loonie coins, as well as we talked about the 1970s Canadian pennies. There was a metal composition change slightly from 77 to 78. And as far as the mintages go, 1971 will be the rarest year. 1978 will be the most common year. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this video, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Enjoy!